I got 5 creepy plants that are sure to make your landscape frightfully fantastic. Oh, that is so cheesy. All right, we're coming into fall now. Things are kind of harvesty feeling. We're starting to order those pumpkin spice lattes. We're binging more Netflix and just starting to kind of settle in for the season, get cozy. And I gotta tell you, fall is my favorite season, hands down. It is so fun. I love taking the kids different places, pumpkin patches, hay rides, farm stores, all that cool stuff that goes along with the season, and it's just a great time. So I got some plants for you that are gonna be really fun, and you can plant them this season to give that extra spooky, scary vibe for all the trick-or-treaters. All right, first one, black Mondo grass. Right off the bat, you can see it's got a super cool, rich, dark color to it. This is gonna do best in a partial shade condition where it has protection from hot afternoon sun. They stay really neat and compact and only get to about 6 inches max. And the texture on these is so cool. Beautiful grass-like foliage, and they do actually produce a small lavender flower in the summer, and then it's followed by small purple berries in the fall. And the plant is evergreen, so all year round, this is looking really cool. It's also deer and rabbit resistant and pretty much disease free. This is almost a set it and forget it kind of plant, so long as you keep it watered. And I suggest using these in masses because it just creates that really cool dark black blanket effect. And it's gonna give that kind of spooky vibe. I've actually seen this planted around the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, and it definitely hits that whole theme home. And oftentimes you see black Mondo used in Zen gardens. It goes right along with that whole vibe as well. All right, next creepy plants we're looking at is a 2-for-1, Aeonium Cyclops and Aeonium Cyclops. These are 2 gorgeous varieties of Aeoniums with beautiful, rich, dark reddish purple, almost black foliage. They have beautiful slender stems that have artistic branching to them, and at the top, a gorgeous rosette with fleshy leaves. And for the Cyclops variety, the color actually changes when you move towards the center of the rosette to a beautiful limey green. So you get that contrast and it looks like an eyeball is staring right at you, hence the name Cyclops. And when you have a cluster of those rosettes, it's like a bunch of eyes staring right at you, looking right into your soul. And the Cyclops variety is also incredible. The foliage is a solid purplish red color with a little bit of a contrasting center, but not as much as the Cyclops. And these guys will reach up about 4 to 5 feet tall by about 3 to 4 wide. And they are actually very drought tolerant once they're established. Perfect for dryscapes, rock gardens, and they can even do well in poor soils so long as they have good drainage. And they're also deer resistant and seacoast tolerant as well. And again, like the Mondo, they're virtually disease and pest free. Now, what I love about these is you can actually snap off part of the branch, reroot it, and then replant it. So you can kind of get an unlimited amount of plants just by very simple and easy propagation. And as a little added bonus, it does produce a beautiful, big yellow flower. And either variety can give you that sort of spooky fall vibe. All right, next one we're looking at is the Acacia Cousin Itt. This is such a cool plant, and really the spookiness is in its name. Cousin Itt was that crazy haired creature on the Addams Family, and this plant is named after that basically because the foliage does kind of just look like a big fluffy head of hair. It creates a mounding effect and the foliage just kind of drapes down, and you can definitely see the resemblance here to Cousin Itt if Cousin Itt had green hair. And it is evergreen, so you're gonna get that foliage looking cool all year round. It's gonna be best in USDA zones 9 through 11, and it's actually quite drought tolerant once it's established. Now it can take full sun or even almost full shade. Stylistically, you can use this in Mediterranean landscapes, southwestern landscapes, and even rock gardens. Great for dry areas. It looks really cool contrasted against decomposed granite or gravel or stones because of the beautiful green colors and the fine texture. It's gonna reach about 2 to 3 feet tall, but it does get a little wider, hitting about 5 feet. Great evergreen shrub. It's gonna hit that funky fall vibe home. Next one we're looking at, Midnight Sage. I really love this plant. It's gonna do best in USDA zones 7 through 10. It's gonna get about 3 to 4 feet tall by about 4 to 6 feet wide. And what's especially great about this salvia is it blooms late summer into fall. So you're gonna get the peak color when everything else is starting to kind of not look so great in the landscape. You do wanna cut back this salvia once a year or so, just to keep new foliage coming back nice and tight. And it's very versatile in the landscape. You can plant it in full sun or nearly full shade. Keep in mind that in full shade, you won't get quite as many blooms. It's gonna be hardy down to about 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit and very low water needs on this one. So great for those dry areas. And it's also a very forgiving plant. It can be planted in areas where the soil condition isn't so great and can take a kind of a fair amount of neglect actually. Now, besides just blooming in late summer and fall, it can also produce blooms year round. Another reason why I love this plant so much. It kind of just makes its way into so many of my designs, especially if I'm designing something a little bit more cottagey, whimsical. This goes great with that. All right, next one we're looking at here is smoke tree. This is actually one of my favorite small shrubs that can actually be used as a small tree. It has some of the most unique blooms. They're just absolutely show-stopping when this thing is at its peak. They're beautiful, wispy, airy, smoky pink blooms that just cover this plant. And these blooms will appear in about May to June. And it literally looks like smoke is hovering right around the tree. It's absolutely spectacular. But it doesn't just end at the blooms. The dark reddish purple foliage is such eye candy for the landscape. And it will go deciduous in the cold months. So wide range of interest throughout the seasons. It'll do best in full sun, but it can take some shade. Just note that it does reduce some of the vibrancy in the foliage. It's got a very fibrous root system, so that makes it easy to transplant, and it's incredibly drought tolerant once this plant is established. And this will do best in USDA zones 5 through 8. You can use this as a small single specimen shrub, or you can let it grow into a small accent tree, or you can even use it as a hedge. So it's got wonderful versatility in the landscape. And it's also very deer tolerant and tolerant of clay soil. And that's a big bonus around here because we got a ton of clay here in Southern California. And rocky soil as well. And sandy soil, we just kind of have everything. It's just a melting pot of different soils. Now, if you guys want a very bloody tree, I'm gonna throw that video link right at the top. So feel free to click on that if you so desire. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today on yet another video. Hope it was fun. Feel free to hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification so you know when the next video is coming out. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful fall season. I'll see you on the next video. And as always, happy planting.